Hi guys, and welcome to the intro to YCW. You got the newest member and one of the earlier members. So we're kind of doing a little mashup right now of getting to know the new with the old YCW.
My more recent involvement has been yoga, which is more my field these days. We've had a few lovely sessions just here. YCW books and things here. And one was the Hugh O'Sullivan, who's written some lovely sort of versions of action that's on a local Australian level, on an international level. And my sort of more recent involvement, my husband Dennis Sheehan was the Australian chaplain after Hugh. We'd pass on the flame of YCW, to all those. And I think that this is that we have that fire inside ourselves, and it sort of bubbles out in words, but the idea that each of us holds something to do with the core of what YCW, in a sense, to recognise the worth in each of us. And then what we actually do with it is up to, it's going to come out in all sorts of ways. So just to put in a plug for Dennis, my husband who passed away last year, but he was the chaplain in the day when Peter Gartland, who's just left, was a young chap. But my history with YCW went back even further, and in the years before that, when I was...
Get along how long YCW has been. When did you actually join up as a young person?
Yes, well, let's, without putting too fine a point on it, when I was 18, it was something like...
We'll give the ballpoint.
It would have been, that was the late 60s then. We're all sort of trying to make a bit of effort to connect beyond eating unconsciously and
food does connect people.
That's right.
And this is a good segue for how I got joined into YCW. I heard about this Youth 3 project around food wastage, and I thought that was quite interesting, and I had some skills with workshop running and being a qualified youth worker, and I've done a few volunteer projects. I started off with the help, and then I got highly involved afterwards.
And when did you start volunteering? What age did you start all this? Look at your own values, how you value people, how you value how the people should be treated at your work, in the places where you, in your recreation and in your neighbourhood. And just keeping an eye open about, long before you even talked about discrimination, it looked like a parish thing in those days. And it was usually, for Collingwood, it was all the boys were in football teams and cricket teams. We had a serious chaplain, and he would convene and say, look, could we sit down and read a bit of the gospel, and let's see how this relates to your life during the week. The organisation did stem from a chap in Belgium, a priest, and he... the work there, people were working in factories like now, slave labour, which is in Melbourne too. And he was looking to get some of those women workers particularly to meet at lunchtime, probably over smoke in those days, but like a lunch break, and see if they could do something to support each other, to be treated better, to be paid better.
Their own support group, in a way.
But their sense of justice, when they find themselves facing a situation that is unjust, I think that's the bottom line.
Okay.
That you act in some fashion beyond your comfort zone.
I have such a positive response here. Just for the viewers' point of view, and their peace of mind is, what would YCW look from their own members?
You meet, you spend time, at a table, at a paper, at a computer. You record your experience of what you talked about. The food project involves?
So basically, I got involved from the food project. So from my understanding, because I joined in towards the end, we're actually trying to create awareness around food wastage. So the young people of the YCW group did a surveys, and there's from supermarkets and restaurants, there's a lot of food waste that's being chucked in the bin in a way. So we actually have collected those foods and started teaching young people how to reuse those. So last week, a few months ago, we did a cooking class around reusing all these donated food. So we did like a 3-course meal or out of it. So we taught them how to make pasta from leftover tomatoes and onions, and we did leftover bread and apples. We actually made a English pudding, apple pudding, bread pudding.
Bread pudding, yeah.
Yes, and bruschetta. So
Wow.
we're hoping to do a 6-week course, about 6-week workshop around that, and hopefully we get some guest speakers and some more people, young people, to join in and if they want to learn some new skills or just make some new friends.